Welcome back, everybody, to the pirate ship of the mind that continues to sail forward to unknown places, to undiscovered countries of the mind and the imagination. Artist Journal, May 2nd, 2023, broadcasting from inner space in Berlin, Germany. My name is Adrian Pocobelli, and this mad show continues. I continue to show up here, despite all the, it really does feel like, again, in my mind, like this really is just a ship going, to unknown territories. And maybe that's what makes it funner. Maybe that's why I keep showing up. One of the reasons. And of course, for you, dear viewer, the much appreciated for all the support so far, the likes, the comments, just the watches, the time. So thank you for that. And in that spirit, I think I have a shorter show, but for real this time. I am putting a very strong effort into cutting this show to 30 or 40 minutes. I think it's best for everyone. So anyways, let's go and look at this. So this awesome artist, I think the name is Goyong Arts. We're going to look again. I hadn't seen anything for a while, and I thought maybe since the sheep, if you remember the sheep, like 2 or 3 months ago. And so finally I just was like, have they not released anything? So I went back and they've released a ton. So we're going to take a quick look and get an update. This is maybe from a couple of weeks ago, but one of my favorite artists in the space, so original, brilliant use of pixelation and everything. So let me remove. So, and even the frame and even the sound and this pixelated butterflies, again, I just, I marvel and I would have no idea how to make something like this. So that is awesome. Interesting decisions too, like say with the frame here, how it gets kind of fuzzed out, which seems to be keeping with their style of this kind of distortions, what we might call like digital distortions, pixelation being an example of that here and there. And then, and then you just look at the pure drawing, which contrasts so beautifully with that pixelation. And the pure drawing itself is beautiful. So we have an extremely talented person here. And the market has been rewarding it. And look at these great butterflies, half pixelated, half not. So anyways, just beautiful. Let's just do this. So again, and you make it smaller and it looks good too. And it looks like even kind of better and etc. Like it looks great too, is what I'm trying to say. Look at this, offer of 3, and it doesn't look like it was taken. Now, sometimes what happens is the person waits too long. Oh no, Sinister, accepted, offer accepted, 3 ETH. So, real money, $5,200. Not bad at all. Well earned, that being said. Here are some others. So I'm going to try and keep more tabs on Goyong. This is from March 4th that it was transferred, minted on March 3rd. Got an offer of 2.5 ETH, so $3,900. So Goyong Arts is making a nice, bit of cash here. And yeah, just, really beautiful and smart art. I'm a big fan of this move. So it looks like a race car there. I'm a big fan of this move that I see, Rat Cloaksy also does it with just this kind of flat sky. And maybe this is done in a different way here with Goyong Arts because it's almost like that is the underpainting. But here in these areas, then Goyong maybe adds the dots on top. So it's all, it's strangely simple, one could argue, but then you add the animation, you add the pixelation, which really is the secret weapon, in my view, on these works, because it creates that awesome contrast. And you know what it almost looks like to me? And again, I'm not an expert in kind of video, but it looks like a pixelation filter has basically been painted on. It's been masked. And so all it does, because you see the race car here, which is going to come through, it becomes pixelated when it goes through the pixelation here, which suggests that that's some kind of pixelation mask in maybe Adobe After Effects or something like that, a software I haven't used that much. So anyways, another gorgeous work here. And here is another temple, and this came out in February. So you see, I miss all sorts of stuff. One of my favorite artists here in this scene, which I only recently discovered. You know, and probably a lot of you who already know this artist are thinking, why is he never showing this art? I mean, this is fabulous. Look at this. The audio, I mean, super cool. I mean, I just came from Berlin, you know, gallery weekend, and I'm like, this is awesome what we're looking at here. I don't know if I had that kind of reaction. I had some, like, you know, again, like the people in the airplane seats. I thought that was, you know, the word that came to me after. It's witty. I thought it was kind of witty, but I didn't have like this kind of like, oh my God, that's awesome sort of moment that I'm having right here with Temple and this like audio. Like, so, and this is just one of 4 works that we're looking at. So this one just came out here, just came out April 7th, transferred to Anne Vault. I wonder if that's Anne Laramie there. Perhaps, and so no price on there. We'll see if there's audio on this. So there's always audio. Beautiful night scene. And I think, let's look at the bus here and see if see it looks pixelated? So I think my theory is not bad on how this is being done. There's another seaming filter here with the cat's tail you can see, almost kind of like a blurry kind of filter, similar to the frame that we saw. Similar to what we saw in the frame in the first. Waiting for You, I mean, so a digital poet here, Goyoung Arts. We will do more over here. I will do more to make sure I follow Goyoung Arts, because that is just such cool, exciting, fun work. Speaking of which, and I thought this question came to me last week as I was actually prepping for the Flora Marquez show. How have NFTs changed your art? And I just kind of love that question. And so that is going to be the topic of tomorrow's Spaces. And so there is no special guest other than you, dear viewer. So come in, your chance to, you know, work your public speaking among friends, meet some cool people. And in worst case scenario, it's just me and Runetoon hanging out, and that's wonderful. You know, so come hang out on tomorrow's Spaces. Got actually some pretty nice traction here so far. So thank you for that as well. I will pin that up right now. And so, yeah, if you want to check that out, just on my page here. And yeah, just discussing how NFT technology may have, you know, altered the direction of your art. You know, because I'm making work that I wouldn't have made otherwise. I was making digital before, but say my little pixel art sketchbook, you know, that's something that I, you know, was really just like something I wanted to make for object, you know, and so, yeah, so it's really interesting. I think it'll be an interesting discussion. So check that out on tomorrow's Spaces. That will be live at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you for the comments. I thought this was quite funny, actually. Gogolitis. An open edition on ETH. That's an idea. I have an open edition scheduled next week, but it is on Tezos. Thank you, Adrian, for showcasing my work. I think there's just a lot of money to be made here, Gogolitis. And I still think so. Like, I mean, I don't know what the number would be, and people are much better than I am at pricing stuff. But, I mean, you put it at like 0.01 or 0.02 open edition with a Gogolitis, you know, pixel art factory of sorts. I could see that going gangbusters there. And thank you everybody else for the comments, for Satio, Joshua, Stulka, Vinny, Bombadil, Rata, and Andre Summer Blues also was watching. So that was awesome. So I totally appreciate. Summer Blues is here. That was great. So it makes me so happy that the artists like this show, that a lot of artists like this show. And just on Gogolitis here, since we were discussing Gogolitis and, you know, doing well, look at this, number 4 on Object here with that, with the Pong, I think Pong delivery system. So Gogolitis doing well. Let's just take a really quick look and just see the Pong training system, and you see what happens when you start selling work, then you start to sell other work, because then people check out your other work. So it really pays to just kind of have a steady stream of stuff coming out. But yeah, it did really well, 56 on primary here, taking from offers, I believe. One person got it for 5. Okay, maybe that was secondary. These are probably primary. Anyway, continuing with our short shows here. How are we doing? We're doing well. So this is quite interesting. Sotheby's Metaverse Marketplace. Sotheby's launches secondary NFT marketplace. So this sounds like a direct competitor to Super Rare. So look at this. Artists first, fully on chain, 2.5% fee, kind of like Object there. Artist royalties, that's really cheap. Because I think Super Rare, like it's at least 10%. I could be wrong on that. Correct me if I'm wrong, if anybody knows. This seems really low. Artist royalties enforced at the marketplace's smart contract level, highly curated. So I wonder if you'll be able to buy this on OpenSea, these works. Now, highly curated. So what's interesting about this, I'll show you in a second what's interesting about this. It'll be interesting to see how well that goes for Sotheby's. I mean, if anybody it's going to work for, one would assume it's Sotheby's. But aggregator of one-of-ones cross marketplaces, interesting. Content focus, defend and promote artists above just offering for sale. So is Sotheby's moving into the gallery space? In a sense, like that's what these platforms have kind of replaced to a certain degree. So that is kind of interesting too. So that's Michael Buhana, who is VP and head of digital art and NFTs and contemporary art specialist at Sotheby's. So interesting. And that is an exclusive that was released to NFT Now. And there's something else I wanted to show you in here. So this is quite interesting. Sotheby's will also establish a new digital art gallery through the Web3 art gallery platform they're going to use on Cyber, which is interesting. Interesting. That's great for on Cyber, I would say, which will exhibit select works from the secondary market. For the Cyber Gallery launch, Sotheby's Metaverse is partnering with well-known digital art collector Cosimo de' Medici, who will curate one of the gallery rooms to feature a selection of works from their famed collection. So they're going to start with, Tyler Hobbs, X-Copy, Claire Silver, Deanna Sinclair. So kind of, more popular, what we might even term like so far seemingly canonical artists within this scene. So that'll be interesting. I mean, like, don't forget, in a sense, at least my theory of what happened with Super Rare, where the people were putting out so much good art, like Super Rare had to kind of like, and this is just a theory, maybe that didn't happen at all at HQ, but it seemed to me that they kind of had to start onboarding because there was too much talent in these open platforms. And you're going to see another, look at this, just another comment relating to this. Fellow artists, I know you're concerned about the future of the space because Super Rare currently only has 3 live auctions compared to 59 on Foundation. Like, that blew me away. That is like a 20x. Okay, engagement seems to be lacking. So now it's a tough market and they're different, but you see so it's just kind of interesting. It'll be interesting to watch, right? Like in Object One, like I haven't seen too much activity. So again, they could have opened that up to everybody and still could in theory. But I mean, they may have other plans for it, but it's just kind of interesting to continue to watch this kind of open versus closed. So let's look at Foundation. Again, who you needed an invite at the start, then they started letting other artists give them 10 invites, and now it's just open. So interesting. There is a free marketedness to Object and Foundation because it's just pure market. There are no barriers to entry. And one wonders if that, in the end will produce the best results. You could make the argument so far. It could be made. I mean, it would be very debatable and contentious, but you could make that argument. Luciana Guerra, look at this, just having a stellar month here. Another month starts. On April, I had an excellent balance. Look at this. Huge exhibition at a national art museum. Exhibition with Fake Whale. My art selected at an art biennale. My art selected for a national salon. Hope to have more amazing... At a National Salon, hope to have more amazing achievements or at least working hard to follow the same path. Thank you all for being with me in this crazy dream. So dreams come true in this scene, more common than in others, is kind of maybe why I wanted to highlight that. And look at Score, also known as Psycho, with a really cool just display here. So I always, like to turn off the music just in case of copyright issues. But my point here is look at how grand this looks. I mean, this is like, wow. That is quite the, light installation courtesy of Score or Saiko. So anyways, pretty impressive projection, right? So yeah, pretty cool. I mean, the music just looks like accompanies the visuals that are like overwhelming. And again, scale. When it's digital art, massive is incredible, oftentimes. The Isolationist. I like this title, Influencers Dissociation. So kind of a dark title here. And Isolationist has always had kind of like a heavy kind of vibe to it, but really well done. And so just a really nice kind of abstract work, but seemingly a kind of figure here and maybe a couple of tears here drawn on. So anyways, someone who's been around on the Tezos network for a while and deserves more attention on this show. A Game of Patience, Influencers Dissociation, who has a great market, doesn't really need this show, frankly. Selling for 30 Tezos, an edition of 20, and let's just see, and has 10 left. So anyways, but making a lot of money here and doing well. So anyways, cool work from Isolationist. And the myth has made it to the cover of Playboy, at least on the myths, in the myth's imagination. So the man, the myth, the legend, and all sorts of stuff here. Silicon Valley, psilocybin, all sorts of, so pretty funny work from the myth here, as usual. So this is a 1 of 1 for 300 Tezos. So let's see how long that takes to go. Pretty reasonable for a myth, 1 of 1. And I'm sure you can guess who this is. This is Debbie T with her Land of Cats, which is now on Bueno NFT. That almost sounds like a Latin American. We were looking at this earlier, and we'll go to the website. So anyways, thrilled to announce my new work, Land of Cats, is now live on Bueno NFT, limited edition of 30. I think they're 0.05 ETH. So anyways, just a very beautiful work, as one will expect from Debbie T, who clearly has some sort of design background. And again, I'm kind of back to that illuminated manuscript sort of feel here, to this writing, which apparently does have meaning. So anyways, a lot of fun here, and just so expertly done, and just gorgeous colors. And you wonder what this says. So anyways, beautiful, and all these cats. And she has an explanation here too, so you can check out her feed to get all the deets on this. Look at how great that looks, though. So anyways, I mean, there should be prints, shouldn't there? I mean, this is just gorgeous. I think she made a giclée once, and it was gorgeous. So here it is. This is on bueno.art. So it's 0.05. It would be nice if they could make it bigger. It's always good if you can make the art, bigger. That would be my only sort of comment on that. But otherwise, kind of looks like a cool platform. So it's a pretty competitive space, isn't it? These platforms. I mean, now Sotheby's, Metaverse. I mean, there's good money to be made if you can, elbow your way in and become a place that artists want to display their work. So, and kind of a vote for Web3 at the end of the day with Sotheby's doing this. They are investing, to their credit. So people of Tezos have put out a bunch of new people in the Tezos ecosystem. So Ezra Eslin. So I'm going to touch a few throughout this show. I can't show all because that would be pretty much all the tabs. They released a ton of them. So I'm just going to show some, and then we're going to do an overview of the whole kind of series, which we can see small. Anyways, here's one by Ezra Eslin, a 1 of 1. And let's just see here. So I guess that's Ezra, a self-portrait of sorts with knives and blood coming down, and cigarettes and a gun and a phone. So yeah, that sounds like everything Ezra Eslin, and just falling from the sky here. Interesting clouds, hey? So, and just, it's quite interesting, her style. Like, it's very interesting how she, total trademark, which gives it her look, is by breaking up the lines like this, putting these little gaps in everywhere, gives it her look, and you just see it throughout. So anyways, really, really cool artist. And it's really interesting how she makes the blood, there's no contour on the blood. So her coloring is really kind of interesting as well, and just, again, trademark. And here is another one by Summer Blues, I believe Andre. So shout out, thanks for the comment, Andre. And here is a brand new mint for 0.77 ETH on Foundation. So I think this came out right after our show here yesterday. And so this one's a little different. I think yesterday we had kind of a psychedelic theme. Here is a knife coming through someone, almost has a bit of a medieval feel. And here's the heart, or seemingly. So anyways, that is cool. And then the flower leads up to the sun. So again, a very just kind of psychedelic. So core liberation, there's almost an Alex Gray kind of, like very, indirectly, there's a bit of an Alex Gray kind of feel to this. I can feel my inner self becoming stronger and more sure with each stride. These portraits of inner space, as I take and I give to its undeniable, with each stride I take as I give in to its undeniable appeal. So again, this kind of core liberation of the soul. Flora Marquez with an interesting kind of comeback, let's say, after a couple of days, taking a couple of days off after 4 months. I mean, after 120 days of delivering a drawing every day. So coming back with some kind of refreshed. And it is good to take breaks, and here there seems to be a little bit of collage in here somehow, or screenshot. So this is that's cut out or masked. So anyway, cool experimentation here. Starting to feel like a little bit of a surrealist direction. And really just, this is nice too. This bird figure here. And everything. So very nice piece available for 20 Tezos. Kind of, again, incorporating what looks like a little bit of collage here. Reminiscent very, very distantly, Demon Ego, Rosatio. So the 1st of May, we must have said something memorable today. So anyways, just cool and mysterious. And you see here. So let's see what happens next with Flora. Shout out to Flora. And Tornado. This is a really interesting work. OMG, I drawed it. And so this artist here, so this looks like a portrait of the artist. Of course, this is also for people of Tezos. So another illustration here, kind of fit in our illustration section. And just a really interesting, cool artist that I'd never seen before, synths and everything. Interesting colors too, aren't there? Even the planets hanging from the ceiling. So anyway, nice discovery here. OMG, I drawed it. OMG, I drawed it. So that's one of one, and I don't think that's sold yet. Burka Bayram. Celebration. When he's gone, we'll all celebrate together. I think this might be a reference to the election in Turkey, perhaps, where Burka is based. And so classic Burka Bayram work. This is for a new series here. And so interesting. I was trying to figure out what these were because they're not quite fish. They're not quite birds. And then I just decided, I think these are just figures. These are shapes with happy faces on, I think is what's going on here. So anyways, this is part of a kind of new collection here, Museum of Wild and Newfangled Art. So buy now for 10, edition of 50. And of course, Burka's been on Tezos since like the beginning practically. A Museum of Wild and Newfangled Art. So here it is, 50% woman-founded digital museum with a pack of 342 new and emerging and established artists from 59 countries, developed an AI curator, New York City-based established. So I've never actually seen this before. So maybe these guys have been around for a while, but there's only two pages. So you wonder to yourself, one wonders to oneself, is this the equivalent of a gallery? On a platform where you start to invite artists and, so anyways, kind of interesting here. And we're going to look at one of these later. And so here's just kind of the big picture. Of course, we cannot go through every one of these, but just to give you an overview here. So very cool. And I just always love, the great Hasdrubal Waffle, who is calling himself Authentic Waffles on this account. And of course, maybe some of you can recognize this. It seems to be a shout out to the residents. Hasdrubal never disappoints with his countercultural references. I'm always pleased that I think I'm getting it right. I'm always pleased that I seem to be able to get a good portion of them, definitely not all of them. But it's a fun kind of game, actually, to play here. So anyways, of course, the residents were the guys with the eyeballs for heads and the top hats. And they were I think they were out of Texas, and they came out in the 70s, and they were famously anonymous, as far as I understood. So kind of way ahead of the game on the anonymity front, kind of beating that trend by a few decades. So this is part of the NEAT series, NEATs, and this is NEAT 116. Let's just see. So this went to virtual real for only 30 Tezos. Wow. Good. So sometimes Hasdrubal Waffle will do like 2-hour like auctions. What was this? Yeah. See, this is 515, and then 715 it sold. So he plays with the mechanics a lot of selling NFTs. Here's the residents, by the way. If we're not going to show the residents now, we'll probably never show them. So here they are, and they just kind of capture the imagination. Kind of, I want to say a very, very underground version of Devo is almost what I'd say, but not quite. But kind of, again, it's almost like if they were artists, you could hang them on in the same show. If it was a group show. But quite different. And I never got like super into the residents, but I had one album, and there was a couple of songs I actually really liked. I think I had this one. And I guess, oh wow, co-founder dead at 73. Wow. So I thought they were still together. They're one of those bands that'll probably never break up. So anyways, that's the residents. Counterculture kind of lore for you, courtesy of Authentic Waffles. And here's NEAT 115. I do not know the reference here, if there is one. I assume there is. Nice. You can see there's a different program or a different brush being used here. And then you can even see the brush over here, seemingly. So interesting work. And often Hasdrubal will do screenshots. So maybe that's like the brush in action here. Really interesting work here, as usual, as we expect. Interesting background too here. So cool work from Hasdrubal Waffle. Went to Not a Number for only 27 Tezos for this one of one. Again, another 2-hour auction. Very interesting. Rinnyfish shared this in her stories on Instagram. This is an artist called Andrea Diznin, and I just thought this was a really cool work. Original, kind of very soft, the treatment here, and just kind of fuzzy. It almost looks like physical, but it's probably digital, and just maybe a woman on her phone and these stars coming out. Just a really original work here. I've never heard of this person, but I mean, they have 19,000 followers on Instagram, so they're doing quite well. And here's just a quick overview. So this one really stands out. Beautiful, beautiful work. And look at this. I thought this was quite stunning. The painterliness of this Uxine work that he posted. Chatbots Making Friends. And I thought this is quite beautiful. Like, look at the brushwork in here. So sticking with these beautiful brushes that Uxine has, and this here looked extra painterly. And there's another thing that I really liked, and that's the color. The color here, so deviating a little bit from, say, the darker, purple and black and green, and then adding this pink is quite beautiful, and it goes quite well with that neon green there. So nice work. And this is for people of Tezos. So Uxine has joined the party here with the people of Tezos, and there is Uxine on an old Mac clicking. So a pretty witty work here as well, and some noise here, and a pirate flag. That is beautiful. It is beautiful. So it'll be interesting to see how much these go for. They seem to go for quite a lot. Like, I was doing this, I think in the last round that they had, and I was quite surprised at how much these went for. They're quite collectible. So it'll be interesting to see how much these go for. I think we have a few more here. Bazaya, who's been on since May 2021. So a rare kind of self-portrait of Bazaya, with the trademark colors here and the flowers and this beautiful sky in the background here. So that is super cool. And the Adidas with the Gucci logo, or Gucci Adidas logo. So anyways, just very cool from Bazaya. And Astra de la Creme with a nice work here too. So just a few people of Tezos here. And I think she works physically. So I suspect this is physical, but I'm not positive. Tezos' son here. And an infinite image here, as you can see her with the Nouns glasses and then holding the phone infinitely. And here is Gloomtube I thought this was quite hilarious. who's also on the people of Tezos. So this is a portrait of Gloomtube at the laundromat, or in a washing machine, seemingly, right? And so here is the laundry, the washing machine, this is the dryer, stack dryer, Gloomtube, and Gloomtube laundry. So I thought that was quite hilarious. So anyways, let's see what these go for. Here's another one, Gwandonarian, who put kind of a pixel artish work. Again, kind of makes these pixel art factories along the lines of Gogo Lightus and Kareem Safa. They would all hang really nicely together in a group show. Interesting eye here. I think that's an eye. And continuing on, and here's one of Sabato. Interesting self-portrait of Sabato here. So seemingly using deluxe paint, almost for sure, with the trademark animal whose name I can never check, capybaras, which I think is like a Brazilian animal that is endangered. So anyways, there is Sabato. And I thought I brought up, let me just bring up quickly the people of Tezos, because I'd love to show everybody here, but they released quite a few. So we're going to show Danielle King. And we showed, so we're actually going to show Sky Goodman. So we're going to show some others. But anyways, I just wanted to give everybody an overview so you can kind of see the others. There's Native Ed and Casper and others. So anyways, Strano. That's funny. So anyways, okay, continuing on. And we're going to continue to rush through here. We're doing well. Gamma check from mech.txt. So this is just a new series here. 69 unique small cards, gacha, 50 static cards, and 19 animated ones. They all sold for 0.02 ETH, sold out, and here they are. So that's pretty cool. So really cheap, and as a result, selling out, because who doesn't want a Michael Micasso for 0.02? So that is really cool. And so here is the series. And this looks like it's going to come out by Manadol sometime today with a reserve of only 1.5 sol. And let me see if I can get this going. See you this night on exchange.art. So a really nice waterfall piece. This is on Instagram here, courtesy of Manadol. So just a cool pixel art work. And continuing on, John, April 30th, 2023, Sunday best. So here's another in the studio visit. And here seems to be the artist covered in flowers with a beer and chilling out. So anyways, another studio shot from John, edition of 25 for 50 Tezos on secondary. And here's V4W Anko with kind of a cool, I think we could call this generative art. So just kind of a cool piece here. Could hang with a lot of artists that we know here. RP24, clean ISO service transformations, voxel pattern, media GIF, 1024 by 1024. So yeah, just interesting. And Acid Boy, laboratory number 10. So of course, for a lot of artists, that's what Tezos can be because of the cheap minting and everything. It can be your laboratory. In a sense, it's kind of like a laboratory of sorts for me as well. If that's what Acid Boy meant by laboratory here. Anyways, the master of psychedelic abstraction is back with this very interesting shape, seemingly almost impossible shape here. So interesting work there. And of course, MCHX with a reserve of 0.2 on this work here. And this is this was minted yesterday. So again, playing with this kind of abstraction here that is moving. Animated, abstract, very minimal, having some color field sort of vibe to it. And I think AI may be used in here as well. You see the effect is quite powerful, and it's just a beautiful, for me, a beautiful extension of the color field, tradition, really, for lack of a better term. So part of a collection called Les Rêves Artificiels, Artificial Dreams. And this is also in the Museum of Wild Newfangled Art by Augers. And I thought this was just kind of a nice, almost impressionistic work here, but it's kind of glitch by Augers. So it looks like a woman in water, perhaps. Just kind of nice colors and everything. Artist Henrique Cartajo, I think, Augers. Multidisciplinary video artist from Brazil, A Happy Day at the Beach, made with processing 4. Each frame is digitally painted with data from personal archive photographs, finished with video editing software. And here's Sky Goodman. Let's see if we can get this working here. So this is also for people of Tezos. So this is cool. I really like this project because it forces artists to do a self-portrait. Like, I think that was the first time I ever did, like, actually, maybe not the first time, but one of the first times I'd actually done a self-portrait was when I was on this. So anyways, let me see if I can get this playing properly here for Sky. So anyways, cool work, very cool portrait of Sky Goodman here. Very nice piece. And turning around, I like this kind of background too, and the foundation and this interesting square. So anyways, another piece for the people of Tezos. And continuing on, look at this by Tukes. You know, Tukes could easily just sit back and, you know, regenerate works that they've made with AI. But what I really like about Tukes is this continual push to develop and to push what, you know, different series and different ideas. And here bringing in a flash, kind of glitchy flash into their work with this strange, you know, probably AI still life. So very cool, AI artist Tukes. So one assumes this is AI. And here, like, it's off the chain, so to speak. Illusory Sky, also by Tukes, open edition for 0.08. So again, pushing things here. So I'll stop that just in case people have flashing issues with flashing lights. But anyways, interesting experimentation from Tukes. Here's a new one from Venta, Venta times AI, The Architects, which is kind of a cool title. And again, playing with these kind of what I always seem to call biomorphic figures here. Interesting anatomy here in everything. And so anyways, just really interesting AI work from Venta as usual. So that is cool. Edition of 10 for 8 Tezos, 1 left. So selling well. And here's another people of Tezos, Danielle King. So that's pretty cool. You wonder how close. I mean, this is AI, right? So an AI self-portrait. I don't know if I've ever seen that before, to be perfectly honest. Like, I assume people have made AI portraits, I guess, of me in the past. So obviously people have done self-portraits before. But anyways, a very nice portrait here by Danielle King. Very nice self-portrait. She's CFO and COO of Club NFT. I didn't know that. I need to back up. You can back up your NFTs, I believe, with Club NFT. So anyways, cool work here. And look at Lily Illo with a new, I think this is new, I assume. But anyways, just really nice work here too. Kind of this painterly style. So anyways, just a really nice piece here posted on Twitter. And here's Zayo Siwa, who we've been following, who's been releasing a lot of this kind of painterly AI artwork and just these interesting figures in a room. It's very painterly again. So just interesting work and just numbers as a title. And finally here, Kazuhiro Ehara, this is with Fake Whale, Swept the Doubtful Grass, as we can see. So this is a digital painting. I kind of put it in here, interestingly, in my own mind, with the AI art, because again, increasingly, AI art is starting to blend in, as just like we're seeing digital and physical, it's starting to get more and more, the lines are starting to blur a bit. It's not as clear, the distinction, I feel, over time as things move forward. And here it's like, this seems to work, this painting with this AI art that we're just looking at by, like, you know, you see the painterliness here and you see by Zayo, right? So anyways, interesting work from Kazuhiro Ehara with Fake Whale. So nice one. A beautiful painting, right? I mean, this is very nicely done, digital, abstract. And here is Headquarters number 6. I love this series by Soom, Home Office. So again, very contemporary subject matter. So that is awesome. And, you know, very colorful piece. Soom's awesome with the colors. Edition of 15, 14 left. This was just minted. And here's Mark Belden again with a beautiful work that I had to share here. I was looking at the flowers earlier and then this was posted. I love this combination of colors. It's kind of neon orange with violet. It's beautiful. So let's make sure we give that a like. And that is your show, my friends. So hopefully I see you on Twitter Spaces tomorrow. Thank you for joining me again. Until next time, take care.